The former head of ICE, Tom Homan, has just been picked as Border Czar for the upcoming administration.
Please respect the chair's authority.
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Homan!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
I think what's inhumane is parents that choose to put their kids in the hands of a smuggling organization.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course, families can be deported together.
What's going on, guys? So Donald Trump has been on a complete tear lately because he's been making appointment after appointment after appointment, not even in office yet, but this guy is standing on business and he's delivering what he promised to the American people. And one of those promises is to deport all of these illegal aliens that have come into the country under this failed, disastrous Biden-Harris administration. So Tom Homan is the new Border Czar, you know, the role that Kamala Harris has. And in some form of irony, he also was a former director of ICE, you know, the agency that Kamala Harris wanted to dismantle or start from scratch.
I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border.
You know,
are you aware that there's a perception?
Puts ICE in the same category as the KKK. Is that what you're asking me?
Abolish ICE. Yeah. Is that a position that you agree with? And we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
So now that the American people have fired her sorry ass, we got somebody that is totally based up in here. So I want to let you guys hear what he had to say in a series of clips here, because this dude is a freaking badass, a freaking G, son. Take a look.
And you're the member.
We agree on that.
Fix it.
We agree. Mr. Homan, you have said that most immigrants are, quote, not criminals other than the criminal act that they do when they enter the country illegally. That is why I think we ought to revisit decriminalizing desperation, striking sections 1325 and 1326 of Title 8 of the U.S. Code, the statutes that the administration has leveraged to separate thousands of children from their families. Mr. Homan, do you understand that the consequences of separation of many children will be lifelong trauma and carried across generations? Have we not learned from the internment of Japanese Americans? Mr. Homan, I'm a father. Do you have children? How can you possibly allow this to happen under your watch? Do you not care? Is it because these children don't look like children that are around you? I don't get it. Have you ever held a deceased child in your arms?
First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my country.
I've served my country for 34 years.
I find your comments
this is out of
disgusting
control.
as well.
I've served my country for 34 years. And yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms that in back of that tractor trailer. I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life were like. And I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member of Congress.
We agree on that.
Fix it.
We agree on that, but I disagree. But I also disagree with your characterization of immigrants as prone to criminality.
People for 3 decades on this.
Gentleman's time has expired.
No one in this room has seen what I've seen in my 34-year career.
Very well.
No one has experienced what I've experienced. I've saw many dead bodies coming across this border. And you want to talk about the memo? This memo is one option to stop death. Not just about enforcing the law, stop death. If you want to legalize illegal immigration, good luck with that, because it's going to get a hell of a lot worse on that border. If you say, well, okay, from now on, there will be no consequence, no deterrence. It's not illegal to come to this country illegally. More families will come. 31% women would be raped. More children would die. We're a nation of laws. If you don't like it, sir, change it. You're the legislator. I'm the executive branch. And I've served my country honorably for 34 years. And I will not sit here and have anybody say that I don't care about children because you're not the same color as my children.
Thank you very much.
You want to know why there's 50,000 people in detention? You want to know why we have 1 million illegal entries in the United States? You want to know why we have these issues? Because you have failed to secure the border. You have failed to work with this president to close the 3 loopholes we've asked for 2 years to close. So if you want to know why this issue exists, you need to look in the mirror. You have failed American people for not securing the border and closing loopholes.
Mr. Homan,
Look,
please respect the chair and the authority of the chair. The
you have-
time of the gentleman has expired.
I've asked you politely to let me go beyond my time, and you let
gentlewoman
other people
from
go beyond their time, but not to Tom Homan. He don't get me go beyond his time.
Mr. Homan, we have
This is a
approved
circus.
an agreement
This is a circus.
between the Republicans and the Democrats with the ranking member. We increased the time of one witness, one member of Congress who was interrupted by a protest. That is done with the approval of the ranking member. Please respect the chair's authority. The
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Homan!
You work for
excuse
me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
Gotcha, bitch.
The recommendation, of the many that you recommended family separation,
I recommend a zero tolerance.
which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
You better start packing now. You're damn right. Because you're going home. I got another message. Another message to the criminal cartels in Mexico. You smuggled enough fentanyl across this country to kill 148,000 young Americans. You have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. And that's when President Trump gets back in office. He's going to designate you a terrorist organization, and he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done.
I am soaking wet right now.
Why would you release 5 or 6 female children to one male sponsor? Why would you do that? So God help these children. God help these children. I love kids. And this administration, I don't want to hear another word about you being humane. You're putting children at risk. Record number of Americans are dying. Record numbers of migrants are dying. There's one guy who can fix this shit, and it's Donald Trump. Look, I knew President Trump was going to run before you did because I had dinner with him in Las Vegas about 6 months before he announced. And we're having dinner, and he looked at me and says, Tom, I think I'm coming back. If I come back, can I get you to come back? I says, I tell you what, sir, I'm so pissed off, I'll come back for free.
Now, you already have some leftists melting down. For example, the cackling hens over on A View are saying stupid, dumb, and idiotic things because, you know, that's what they do. And one of the things that propagandists, fake news propagandists, and Kamala Harris surrogate Anna Navarro was saying is that Donald Trump wanted to deport American citizens as well.
What he is saying is that U.S. citizens can be deported. What he is saying is if the parent is undocumented and they have U.S. citizen children or U.S. citizen spouse, or and you don't want to separate them, then let's deport the U.S. citizens.
What? You dumb.
Slap yourself.
People think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. There's not enough criminals, aliens in the federal prison system for it to be mass deportations. What it means is grandmothers. It means dreamers. It means family members. It means your colleagues. What it means is brothers and aunts. Yep. What it means is abuelos y abuelas. It means your friends. It means people who are part of the society. And look, America, you know, those of you who voted for Trump, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. You Screwed around and you're about to find out.
Just for that, you go first.
I'm not even going to get into how stupid this is because I think it speaks for itself. But man, these chicks are dumb. Donald Trump called them out for being dumb, and he's absolutely right. A bunch of you guys know that as well. It doesn't make any sense. They always fearmonger everything, stuff that never happens, stuff that Trump doesn't say. These people are buffoons, and anybody who listens to them is foolish as hell too in terms of listening to them and thinking that they know what the hell they're talking about. But we also got to talk about people that have sworn resistance to working with ICE and Border Patrol and, you know, who all else is involved, like Gavin Newsom out there in wokey woke behind California.
As it relates to mass deportation, where he doubled down on that just yesterday and reported today with Christian Walker. What state is more impacted by that than California? The impact that would have on the economy, the chilling impact that would have on the economy, the tentpole of the U.S. economy, California's innovation, not just Central Valley, but Silicon Valley.
The virtual meeting comes a day after Newsom called for a special session later this year to protect certain policies from a Trump presidency. Illinois governor, who like Newsom is considered to be among the Democrats in the 2028 mix, echoed many of Newsom's sentiments.
Most of these people that have made these pronouncements are being talked about for presidential candidates for the next round in 2028. So it's really no surprise that they would try to seize some of the spotlight.
Trump hit back in a post on Truth Social, referring to him as, quote, Governor Gavin Newsom, and saying Newsom was, quote, using the term Trump-proof as a way of stopping all the great things that can be done to make California great again.
In 2017, it was really good politics for Democrats to try and stop Trump and be against Trump. It remains to be seen if that's going to be the case in 2025 when Trump takes power, given the seeming popularity of how he was voted into office.
Meantime, Newsom saying he is not naive to the areas where Trump will, quote, attack.
We're in the process of becoming more prepared. Again, that's what this special session and subsequent actions, trust me, we got a lot up our sleeve. We're not done by any stretch.
The California governor Gavin Newsom is now claiming he will refuse to deport illegal migrants when Trump takes office.
And we ultimately renounce the kind of bigotry, the kind of xenophobia that is front and center in discussions and debates like this. I thought the Attorney General was right about the Trump administration having issues with immigrants, but I think he could have been even more pointed, and forgive me, Mr. Attorney General, by saying he has a particular problem with brown people, not even immigrants.
The California governor Gavin Newsom is now claiming that he will refuse to deport illegal migrants when Trump takes office as president. He also claimed that he thinks Trump has an issue with and dislikes brown people. These statements from the California governor has garnered controversy from commenters online. Commenters claimed that he should be focused on the people living in tents on the street in California and that this is ridiculous.
He's saying that he's not going to cooperate with Donald Trump in any sort of Border Patrol and border enforcement, immigration's enforcement, because, I don't know, it's just a really bad thing to do and we must resist Trump at all costs. Bear in mind that resisting Trump is not just resisting Trump. It's resisting the popular vote. It's resisting the American people, and that should not be allowed. Tom Homan's not having it. Take a look at what he has to say.
Well, I think, look, it'd be great to have local law enforcement assist ICE, because, you know, one thing we learned during 9/11 report was we shouldn't have stovepipes. Law enforcement should be working with law enforcement. But, you know, there's two things. Number one, under President Trump, he was suing the sanctuary cities, DOJ suing the sanctuary cities, pulling federal funds. Of course, day one, when Joe Biden came in office, he stopped that lawsuit. So that has to be put back in place. And look, I've seen some of these Democratic governors say they're going to stand in the way. They're going to make it hard for us. Well, you know, a suggestion: if you're not going to help us, get the hell out of the way, but we're going to do it. So if we can't get assistance from New York City, and we may have to double the number of agents we send in New York City, because we're going to do the job. We're going to do the job without you or with you. But it's much easier to arrest a bad guy. Like I just said, we're concentrating on public safety threats of human and national security threats. Right. It's much easier to arrest a bad guy in the jail. Give us access to Rikers Island that we've been kicked out of. Let us get the bad guy in the jail. It's safer for the alien. It's safer for the officer. It's safer for the community. But if you don't release these bad guys, if you don't release these bad guys out in the community, then we're going to have to go find them, which puts the officer at risk, puts the community at risk, and puts, and bottom line is, it's no one, sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. And the left keeps saying, well, we want victims and witnesses of a crime to feel safe, come to the police department knowing we don't work with life. Let me make one thing clear. That's just a stone cold lie. Victims and witnesses of a crime does not want the bad guy back in their neighborhood.
That's true.
Yeah. Certainly. And most the illegal immigrant community, they broke the law being there, they shouldn't be. However, after being there, they're God-fearing family people. I get it. Do they want a sexual predator in their neighborhood? Do they want someone convicted of DUI 10 times in their neighborhood? Let us protect not only the American communities, let us protect the immigrant community. Who's a victim of MS-13 crime? Yeah. The immigrant community. Yeah. So, if sanctuary cities don't want to help us, to get the hell out of the way, because we're coming.
As far as I'm concerned, for anybody who's resisting, if there's law in place that makes it where these people can be held accountable, file the lawsuits, put these people in prison if you have to, because you're not going to stand in the way of the American people because you're some woke behind ideologue. Okay, I understand you're out there in California. Maybe you could pretend to be against it or whatever. But when them people show up and say we're here to collect, you damn sure better not stand in their way. Otherwise, I hope they put your stupid dumb ass in prison, lock you away, and throw away the key, just like you did them January 6ers for breaking the law. No one's above the law, right? Those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about Tom Homan and what these woke, dumb behind leftists have to say about this. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to this channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
Hey, look, they gave me 5 minutes to say a few things, so if I offend anybody tonight, I don't give a shit. How many pounds of fentanyl didn't make it in this country to kill Americans? How many known suspected terrorists didn't make it in the country? How many billions of dollars did the cartels make? President Trump is one badass president. He secured the border at a level we've never seen before. And I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that's been released into the United States under this administration. Don't get too comfortable. We're going to need some help. Do I have any volunteers that want to come back and help run the biggest deportation operation in the history of this nation? In January of 25, the greatest president of my lifetime walking back in the White House. He tells me we got, I say 120 days. He says, no, you got 60 to lock the border down. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I told the president. He comes back, I come back, we fix this shit.